took them. Dr. Alsop's not a communications guy. Obviously, he told me you can go up a minute early, so I'm going to do that. So, good morning. What an awesome turnout. The main reason you're here, I'm here to squelch out a rumor. We are not joining the Pac-12. It's better news than that. So I'm going to introduce the commissioner of the Great Plains Athletic Conference, Corey Westra, with a special announcement.
Well, good morning. What a beautiful day. Just a great, nearly fall morning here in Forest City, Iowa. As indicated, my name is Corey Westra. I am the commissioner of the Great Plains Athletic Conference, and I am honored to be here today for what has been alluded to as the announcement. I think it's about time we get this thing out in the open. The Great Plains Athletic Conference is very excited to welcome Waldorf University to our conference as our 13th member. Welcome to the GPAC. We look forward to working with Waldorf University beginning in 2024-25. Yes, that's next year, and that means we have our work cut out for us on all levels to get things ready to go for next year. And we are excited that you are joining this league as a full member. You are currently an affiliate member in the sports of women's and men's soccer, and in the early going, that has gone well. The competition has been great. And now we get to do that with all intercollegiate athletics at Waldorf University. The GPAC is a proud member of the NAIA. We were founded in 2000 as the Great Plains Athletic Conference. Our roots go back, though, to 1969 when the Nebraska Intercollegiate Athletic Conference was formed. That remained that way until the 90s when the NIAC became the NIAC. It just changed intercollegiate to Iowa. And Northwestern joined the league. And then in 2000, the big expansion happened. We added 4 members in 2000, moved through the early 2000s, grew our membership, and here we sit today on the cusp of welcoming a 13th member to GPAC Nation, as we call it. And we're a league of champions in competition, 37 national champions since 2000. We're champions in our communities. Forest City, we'll get to find out what that is about. Great communities in this conference. Very proud alumni bases, very proud support for game days, and we're champions in the classroom. Our academic excellence is really important to us. We are among the leaders of the NAIA in scholar athletes, in scholar teams, and we want to do it the right way. We want to compete like crazy, but we want to send young men and young women out into the world with a degree, and we want to have them change the world and be champions themselves, whatever that may be. And athletics is a conduit for that, and I think we have to keep the main thing the main thing. Athletics is just a small part of it, but it's a pretty fun part of it, and we enjoy competition among our members. And to that end, I want to thank the coaches that are sitting here in the front row. It's not church. You guys didn't go to the back. But they're great coaches here. And I've known a lot of you for a long time. Nigel, Sean, specifically. I've known you guys. Coach Jerome, so I got to see him again today. Haven't seen him in a while. Excellent. Proud history here at Waldorf University. And, of course, got to know your soccer programs, as we went into this year as an affiliate. But this league is really excited to welcome you. This is a league that's pretty tight-knit. You'll find that between the lines and on the courts, we're super competitive, but we lift each other up outside of competition. My brightest moments in 21 years as commissioner are the harder times of the league, when there's been something that's happened to a dear friend, and we lift each other up. And you're going to find out what that's all about. But today is about Waldorf. It's about welcoming you to what we think is one of the premier NAIA conferences in the country, and invite you into our 22 intercollegiate sports. You don't have all of the sports that we have, but you do have what our Constitution required, and we are excited and ready to go. Couple comments about the process. Last year, we were looking for an affiliate member in soccer, and Chad and I and Dr. Alsop and I got to talking about that, and that happened pretty quickly. Back in February, I believe, we announced the affiliate membership, and let's just say one thing led to another pretty quickly, and it became evident that more was available for Warrior Nation. And that's where we are today, welcoming you as a full-time member to this conference. So welcome. We're glad to have you. Dr. Alsop, I'd like to have you come up and let's make this official. I'd like to congratulate Dr. Robert Alsop and Waldorf University on joining the Great Plains Athletic Conference. Welcome. Very happy for you. Dr. Alsop's going to say a few words.
Good morning, Warriors. It's a great day to be a Warrior, isn't it? Thank you, Corey, for your leadership in the GPAC and leading us through this process. It became very evident working with Corey and President Christie at Northwestern that this was going to be the right move for Waldorf University. So first of all, I am grateful to accept the invitation into the Great Plains Athletic Conference. I would like to express my appreciation to the North Star Athletic Association. That has been a great home for Waldorf over the last decade, comprised of schools that we have a lot of respect and we've had great competition with. But as we work through the last semester, there is so much that the GPAC offers us as an institution. Just a solid conference of now 13 schools that provide unbelievable competition for us going forward. But as Corey mentioned too, it's not just about the competition. It's about the primary reason as student athletes. And the GPAC has always been a leader in putting that student athlete first. They were out there putting the guardrails early on for number of competitions allowed, number of practice days allowed, to make sure that we're giving our student athletes every opportunity to be successful academically. So we're very proud to be associated with that conference. Common values, particularly as we have returned to our roots. We're owned by the Waldorf Lutheran College Foundation, and Ray Beebe, the chair of that, is here today. So returning us to our tax-exempt status, but also returning to our status in reaffiliating with a church denomination as well. That allowed us to be eligible then for the GPAC. So everything came to a great confluence and set us on this path today. And a great footprint for us as well that I think we will all appreciate. So again, it's a great day for Warrior Nation. So glad that all of you could be out here to celebrate this announcement. And before we take any questions, I would like to ask our athletic director, Chad Gassman, to come forward.
I've had to refrain from using the word excited all day today because I'm excited. I mean, this is exciting times, and I'll stop saying excited. So, I want to thank some people first of all. KIOW for being out here and the live streaming and putting this on live right now. Thank you so much. That's just a part of just the community involvement. I see so many people from the community here right now. The world's best chain gang is here. The support we have is what makes this special. So KIW, the community, our support staff, Dr. Alsop says, now who do I give credit for this venue looking the way it is right now? And I said, well, me. But But the truth is, Callie, Michelle, Jenna, Rosie, John, all of our support staff, Kyle Swiderski, just wow. You did a great job. And then Brian Keeley providing the refreshments over there, and just to make it a really great event. So why am I excited? And why are our coaches excited about this move? I have 3 points. First, philosophically, it's just the right fit. There's a bunch of institutions. We're striving to be just like that, with striving for excellence, but won't compromise. All the schools are a faith-based, academic-driven, private universities, and we fit into that category, and so it just makes it a great fit. Second is geographically, I'm really excited about it. We get some of those Iowa rivalries back. Northwestern, Morningside, Dord, who am I missing, Corey? But Briarcliff, and then some great, border Nebraska and South Dakota schools. So I think, therefore, there's going to be a lot of schools that are going to bring a lot of fans, and we're going to be able to go and bring a lot of fans. And I think this naturally, it's a good geographical fit. And then third, as Corey just mentioned, there are several teams in the conference. It's on a great foundation. And you want to be involved with something that's on a great foundation. So, again, I want to echo what Dr. Alsop said. I am so appreciative of the North Star accepting us 10, 11 years ago, but I do feel like this is a great time to make the move, and we're just really, again, excited. So I will now have Corey open it up for questions, and we'll go from there.
Have to take turns coming out of here. If we knock these balloons over, we are going to hear about it from the back, right? She's laughing, but you know these balloons cannot come down. One thing that stood out to me through the process of being here on our visit, which was the day after Labor Day, was this philosophy that you have of that your students come here possibly to be recruited to play athletics. In a lot of cases, that may be the case, but you want them to do that and something. And that may be involvement in campus activities, whatever it may be, but it's that holistic approach to intercollegiate athletics. And our visit team really grabbed onto that and philosophy. And I think that positions you well for what you're doing here in North Central Iowa. I'm excited about a kind of a new market. This is kind of an area that we have never really been in. It gets us obviously North Central Iowa, but it gets us a little bit into Minnesota. We're not very far away. I know that we're going to get some eyes on us up there with television coverage and highlights and those types of things. So it's a neat expansion. I've gotten to know Highway 18 very well. I haven't been out on Highway 18 in over 20 years, back to my days in being radio up in Northwest Iowa, but Spencer, Emmetsburg, Algona, got to know those very well. But I really love this community. It's a neat community. And I love your joint use agreements with the high school. Your facilities are outstanding. And I think people that can make joint use agreements work do well. And it's obvious here that you have that with Forest City Community School District and this community in general. But I am up here to answer questions. I said I would kick it off. I'm going to answer questions first, and then we're going to have Dr. Alsop, and then we're going to have Chad, and then Chad will close us. So questions you may have about anything related to today's announcement.
Just curious, what makes it good for the conference and not just Waldorf? Like, we're all very excited, but from where you sit, why is it a fit for GPAC?
I think in conferences, and you don't have to look very far on social media these days, stability is important. Stability is very, very important. Obviously, there are other reasons that conferences expand, and we're not in those reasons of financial, but for us, it's about stability. It was alluded to, that foundation, that base, and for us to keep our numbers strong, because intercollegiate athletics are expensive. The economy is, it's not easy to take a team on the road. So for us to have regionalized opponents to fill schedules, but also do it with people who are like-minded, makes a lot of sense. So that's where our membership is very excited. A lot of our schools played Waldorf and do play Waldorf. I know Morningside, for example, opens here for basketball just in a couple of weeks. And so you've been on our schedules. There's not an unknown factor when it comes to what Waldorf University is about. There might have been a little bit of we've lost them over the last few years in terms of some of your changes, but then you came back in and became under the 501c3 with the Lutheran College Foundation, and then of course the affiliate soccer membership put you right back up in there, and off we go with this relationship again. So I think it's a two-way relationship, and we're excited about it.
You talked about the visit, obviously you came and visit before this process went through. Take us through that process and who's a part of that visit team and what are you looking at, what are you looking for, and how much does that weigh into the decision?
Yeah, the process is this, that it begins with a letter of application from the president. And in turn, I send a checklist to the university to go through our Constitution and our bylaws to acknowledge where you do comply and where you may not comply. Waldorf did comply across the board with all the changes here recently, so there's some check boxes. That checklist is then taken to our executive committee, and they reviewed it, and then they make a recommendation to our council of presidents on whether or not to proceed with a campus visit. And that was unanimous among our presidents to go forward and do that campus visit. So we brought to campus here the day after Labor Day an athletic director, Jim Sykes from Morningside, a president, Greg Christie from Northwestern. We brought a faculty athletic representative, Peggy Hart from Doane, and we brought a financial aid director, Karen Weiss from Morningside, and myself. And we came and we spent the whole day. We did breakout sessions with colleagues, one-on-one interviews. We had a series of questions that we wanted to get answered: financial aid model, enrollment, type of academic offerings, facilities certainly, and we went through that. We had a lunch together, which was the highlight of the day because of you student athletes in the room. You really left a great impression on our team, that you're excited about this place, and that really goes a long ways. When there's passion in the room, and it was in this very room, that goes a long ways. And then Chad took us around. He was the chauffeur for the day in his van. He illegally parked only 7 times. I had to get it in there, Chad. But we went around and we looked at all the facilities. We started here. We went out and looked at the baseball and the softball. We just went all the way around town. Chad was excited that day too. Chad should be on the Chamber of Commerce. Because we got to see Winnebago, we got to see everything, and we got to see his daughter walk to school, and he goes, "Hey, that's my daughter, she's going to school." It was a really good day, and then we came back, we met with everybody that we met with throughout the day, we kind of recapped, and then I did a membership report back to my presidents, and we voted a week later, and the membership was approved at that point. That was last week, and here we are today, September 18, 2023, the day that Waldorf joined the GPAC. So there's probably a lot more work that went into that than that little quick summation, but that is the process that we followed. And we've done that before. It's worked very, very well for us. Back there.
You touched on this a little bit. Obviously, this change is going to help Waldorf financially. How will this benefit Waldorf student athlete scholarships in the future? I know, of course, you're not doing this at Waldorf, but in your experience, how does that help the benefits?
So the question was, how does this benefit the student athletes of Waldorf moving forward? Can I share your story? Sure. You had Sean had a recruit on campus pretty recently here, and I know it's hard. It's hard to not want to spill, but at some point you got to allude to what the future is. And he just shared that in that particular case, knowing what was coming was a huge part of that recruit visit, because parents love to watch their kids play. And when they know that within 2 to 3 hours there's a lot of opponents, that really is, that's a win, because parents love to go out and do that. So to have some regionalization in opponents, and certainly there's further out opponents as well, but that, I think, in recruiting, you're going to see student athletes now. I think it's a two-way. I mentioned two-way a couple of times. You're going to piggyback off us, and we'll piggyback off you, because now you're associated with our schools, and in that recruiting process, I think doors will open to maybe different markets. I think your footprint just went west tremendously into Sioux City and into Northwest Iowa and into Nebraska and even into South Dakota and the like. So I think you'll see some benefits there that new recruit base that will be coming here as well. Good question. Yes?
So with changes happening, coming this next year, what still has to be done in this?
Yeah, so the process now is to figure out schedules and how that fits in to what we will do for all our conference sports. Fall is first, football, soccer, volleyball, and then we got to get into the basketballs, and of course baseball and softball eventually. That will be spring of 25. But it's September 18, and we do not have our schedules locked in for next year. That's where I need heartburn medicine, because that's that you coaches are agreeing, right? I mean, you want your schedules as soon as possible. So we are working on those. Those are in process. We hope to have those locked down by our league meetings in October, early October, when we go out to Hastings College. Any other questions for myself, or I'll bring up Dr. Alsop?
How many of the schools have football programs?
All of our schools have football. We do have one female-only school in the conference, College of St. Mary. And I should run through the membership of the league real quick, because you may not be familiar. Let's start in Nebraska. We have Hastings College, and then we have Concordia University, Doane University, Midland University, and College of St. Mary. That's our Nebraska group. In South Dakota, we have Mount Marty University and Dakota Wesleyan University. In North Dakota, we have the University of Jamestown. And then in Northwest Iowa, we have Dordt University, Northwestern College, Morningside University, and Briar Cliff University. So that's our membership of the league. And all of our schools have football. We currently have 11 football schools. You would be the 12th. So there will be discussions around how that football schedule will look, whether that's a divisional schedule, how we're going to do that, because there are return games that are on the schedule next year from games that were played in week 0 this year. Almost all those games played this year will have a return. Your Briar Cliff game will become a conference game, so it might open up Waldorf for other opportunities for a non-conference and the like. So, thank you. Other questions? Yes. Hey, Coach.
I know you have excellent vision and always looking forward. Is 13 a good number to work with? Do you have travel partners? Are you looking at one more even number like most conferences?
Yeah, odd numbers are a little bit tougher, Coach, no question. I would say if you're not looking, you're not doing your role as a conference. You're always looking for membership. You want to be as strong as possible. I always say 14 comes first and 16 comes second. And those are kind of start to be the numbers that you can do things with for divisional. Really lower than that, you really need everybody within the schedule to play. And we've done round robin scheduling in our league for years, and it works very well. Our basketball plays a double round robin, home and home. Our volleyball does a home and home on half of the schedule and then travels on the other half. So we've had some divisional structures within what we do, but never had full divisions. But I would say, to answer your question, you're always looking, and we would love to have more. Maybe one more for sure, up to 14, and if everything worked out, to go more than that. Other questions? Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Alsop for some Q&A.
All right, I'll open it right up to questions. I'm sure you want to pick my mind on my athletic insights that I can provide here. I was a student athlete. In fact, I won the rooming championship in RBI baseball in the Nintendo 64 back in '89. I can't take all the credit. The '87 Twins were kind of stacked with Gladden and Herbeck and Bernansky, but yeah.
This is a big move, but you don't take it lightly, so you wouldn't have done something like this unless you thought it was the right decision. Why do you think it is the right decision?
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, it dovetails so nicely into the direction of the university with our change of ownership, number one. It's a fantastic conference to be a part of, both in its foundations, in its values, and for the entire student-athlete experience. So it's just a very good fit all around for us.
Talk about your relationship with maybe some of the other presidents within the league. Was there a prior relationship there? Is it on the relationship building now? Talk about that.
Yeah, so it's certainly in the relationship building phase, and that they've had some turnover recently with some of their presidents. But President Christie at Northwestern, he's been president there for I think over 15 years now, which in president years is like 90. We had some conversations. He called to congratulate me on the change of ownership, and I think we've established a real nice relationship going forward. He's also a 7 handicap, so I have some work to do there.
With college, you often think a lot about the academics, but how important are the athletics to the academics?
Yeah. So as Corey, I was very glad that was something that he and the team identified, this concept of being an university. So our mission is to educate the entire person. And so our out of classroom experiences are very important to that, whether that's with the fine arts, it's with clubs and organizations, or with athletics. We see that holistically as a part of the educational experience for our campus student. So that's a critical part for us, that the GPAC offers so many sports that we're pretty much housed all in one there. So that was a very important part of what we were looking at. Oh, yes. Yeah, so, and they advocated that for league-wide. It wasn't just a GPAC schedule, that's what the entire league now follows, but it was, or NAIA, yeah. So that was, so that is something that we are currently following, but it was because of the leadership of the GPAC that we have that. But in my perusal of distances, we're going to cut our travel time by about 30% as well. So I think that too will obviously less time on the bus traveling, perhaps less overnights and things like that. So that should result in less class time missed as well.
And obviously, less travel time, less overnights, probably cost saving for the university is probably a big thing as well.
That didn't even occur to me. No. Yes, that is certainly something that will benefit the university as well. Okay. All right, I'll invite Chad back up here to answer any questions.
I felt like they got a lot of softball type slow pitch questions, so I don't need 92 on the knees here, yeah. So, yeah.
Chad, if you're willing to answer Ben's question again, how will joining the GPAC help the student?
Yeah, I kind of touched on that, but geographically, again, the travel's going to be less. Again, I think there's the scheduling in itself. I think right now one of the challenges we faced when we were in soccer and a couple other things was just it was hard to schedule, you know. And then when you're in a conference that doesn't have a ton of teams, that's just more competitions we have to schedule. So I think in that alone, that's going to be beneficial for the students.
Chad, quick question. What sports does the GPAC offer that Waldorf doesn't? And would that be something that in the future that we might expand and add more sports?
Carl, right off the top, 95 right off. No, I know this.
I'll help you out.
Tennis.
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 Actually, I think it is just tennis. No, yeah, men's volleyball. men's volleyball is another one that we have. Women's wrestling is coming to our league next year. Right now we are affiliate members in with the KCAC, but our numbers go back up to have the minimum requirements, so we'll house women's wrestling next year. So yes, there you go.
This is my time, Corey. Carl, and men's volleyball would be, you know, we're not making that announcement, but that is a sport we would consider. So. I guess we could also consider tennis, but tennis courts in the winter, the foundation issue, we talk about foundational issues, you got to resurface those tennis courts a lot. So, anything else?
When you're always just working on trying to improve everything athletically here, how does this move help you, continue to move things forward that you're trying to accomplish?
Well, as you might know, John, we're always striving for excellence here. I mean, from the time a visiting team pulls up in the charter, we want to make sure, we're doing everything the right way. So that's going to be a continued thing we strive for, and in this conference, that I think it fits what we're trying to do. Well, yeah, our whole support staff, Dr. Alsop, all the members in the Northwestern, that as Corey was saying, that was a wonderful day when when they did the campus visit. Without being cheesy, I thought there was really good chemistry, and and we know that because they were all making fun of me by the end of the day. So, but yeah, so all of that came into play, and then honestly, without being cliche, the coaches, the student athletes, the faculty, the staff, all of that. I know they were very impressed with all of that, and I truly believe it was all genuine.
Talk about obviously the conversation with the coaches. I'm sure that conversation was had after it became official internally. What was kind of the temperature of the room between the coaches at Waldorf, and what were their thoughts?
They just found out today at 10 o'clock. So I haven't been able to gauge the room yet there. No, from what I can tell is there's a lot of excitement. And again, I just used that word for the 13th time today, but no, I'm not feeling anything otherwise than that. It's going to be challenging. I mean, look at the teams in the GPAC and what they've been doing. A lot of conference championships, a lot of national championships, a lot of top 25 rankings. I believe, and Corey, I think we sent 7 volleyball teams to the national tournament last year. 7 volleyball teams to the national tournament. 6 in women's basketball? 7 in women's basketball. Okay, Sean, we heard you. Okay, so yeah, it's going to be challenging, but we're looking forward to the challenge.
Chad, can we be competitive in this league?
Yes. Do you want me to expound? Yes, we can be. We're going to do some things to help us with that, and I feel that we will be fine.
What do you see the biggest challenges being?
Maybe I'm just in this really wonderful mood right now where I'm not, honestly, athletics in itself is going to be challenging, but yeah, I mean, I just said it, there's a couple sports that are just really, really competitive. The good thing is we've got coaches that are willing to answer that. So, I'd say volleyball and women's basketball sending 7 teams to the national tournament, but we have the right coaches to do the job.
Chad?
Yes.
You bring a lot of, great athletes in football and scheduled?
That is,
Athletes come in, you know, they're coming from great teams, high school teams, and they want to play. You know, they sit there as freshmen, sophomores, and they want to play. So I was wondering if they get some playing time if there was a JV game scheduled.
see, that's a great question, and without getting too deep into the weeds, that is something we are considering. Is it time to eat cake, or do you have a couple more questions? Okay, are we good? Hey, thank you for coming out, and feel free to have some refreshments.